Okay, we sit in Rosebank here. Rosebank used to be it used to be a very big Jewish community in Rosebank. I remember when my grandmother used to live in Bree Street in centre of Joburg. How times have changed. And she used to have friends out here. And of course, Cartrack. Head office is here, and this is Mr. Zach Calisto, a man I have huge respect and admiration for, and has taken a company which we must say we thought might grow a little bit, but it's unbelievable how it has grown, which we'll get into now. But we're here to discuss not only the annual results, it was the half-yearly results, eh?
That's half year,
First half of the year results, which are absolutely amazing. Zach, who spends most of his time in Singapore, but as he says, he's all over. He's a gypsy. He's all over the place, right? He's got, Cartrack has expanded into the rest of the world. He's in America. We want to chat a little bit about America, Zach, if you don't mind. And in Asia, in Africa, very big. In South Africa, of course, become a household name through some very innovative products and very innovative things like giving the market value of the car into your pocket if Cartrack doesn't return your car and track your car and find it for you and get it back to you. They've come up with great innovations like that. So here's Mr. Zach Costello. What amazed me this morning, we have Calisto, not Costello, man. I don't know how to sub these, by the way, so everything goes in as is. Zach, what amazed me was, once again, amazing report of growth. The last time we spoke, you had reached 700,000 subscribers. Now, it was 849,000 as reported this morning, and that's talking about 2 months ago. You're now higher than that. Tell us how high. And Zach, how do you get to that growth? That's exceptional growth in subscriber base. Never mind the financial figures at the moment, the subscribers.
So we've currently got 875,000 subscribers. We've been growing at a steady rate, just over 25%, 25 to 30% for the last 18 months. And there's strong demand for our services. Our services go far beyond security and safety, and it goes into bringing real value into the commercial space. A lot of the companies are using us now, and to improve their workforce, to improve their costs, their efficiency, their customer service. So we're doing what we've been doing for a long time, but clearly, every 6 months or every 3 months, we're adding additional features to our platforms, and we're about to release our new platform within the next 3 to 4 months.
Improving the workforce. I haven't heard that before. We've heard about improving drivers, monitoring driver behavior and looking for areas for further training, etc. But you've said improving the workforce. What is that, Zach? What are you doing in that arena?
Well, it's quite a broad word to use, improving the workforce. So one would start with just improving the conditions for the workers from a safety perspective. Then it would also go into the driver behavior and improving that in terms of the behavior of the drivers. But then it's also got to do with communicating with the drivers. So in giving them tasks to do, making sure if their tasks have been done, if they've been done correctly, the interaction between the driver and the back office for jobs that they've got to do, giving them tasks. Also knowing how efficient they've been at their tasks, for how long they've been at their tasks. So you can get huge efficiencies in actually assisting your drivers, and not necessarily drivers, like salespeople. We're now releasing a total CRM-based platform that allows the salesperson, while on the road, that you can see where they've been, when they've been, who they've spoken to, when they've spoken to, and that all goes back. All the information goes back into a platform that stays there for 5 years, where you can see where your sales force were, what they did with that specific customer, what the orders were done, what was discussed, all in minute forms. So and that's optimizing your workforce.
Okay. That is so far from the origins of fleet vehicle tracking and recovery, and also a little bit out of the arena of fleet management, because fleet management was traditionally tracking your vehicle and managing the vehicle, giving better information on the vehicle, over revving, drivers, harsh braking, etc., etc. That is miles away from that. Is that one of the value-added things that is making you differentiate Cartrack from the many other telematics suppliers out there?
You know, there are the basic features that fleet management bring, like the ones you did mention. But that's really 5 years ago stuff. You know, we now, it's 5 years later, and in 5 years' time it will be other features. So our platforms are getting more sophisticated. We're adding tremendous more value. You know, and we'll continue bringing features because as we get specialized customers requesting, for instance, in the construction industry, that they need very specific features for them to really optimize both the workforce and their fleet. So we're getting more and more sophisticated. We've always stayed away from very specialized fleet management customers. You know, bespoke offerings. But the reality, our platform right now, even the bespoke customers, they can get as a standard feature from us. It's no longer bespoke. Anybody can get it. And as we go along, eventually, anything we do in terms of our platform, we will be able to address 99.9% of the requirements. We've always been of the opinion that we should develop platforms that address 90% of the requirements. But that is getting, you know, there's only so many features you can do with the current technology. As technologies improve, we'll be adding more features.
Okay, that's amazing, and in 5 years' time it's going to change as well. I mean, telematics has got to be one of the fastest growth arenas in the trucking industry throughout the world that we've ever seen. But let's go back to the basics. South Africa is currently suffering under an increased avalanche of crime in all areas. And of course, you mentioned this morning at your results presentation that it's probably the worst you've seen in 10 years. I know that on the N3 last week, there were 13 attempted hijackings of trucks in one night. Guys are running scared out there. How do you see the crime, the vehicle crime situation at the moment, and where do you see it going, and how do you fit into hopefully solving the problem?
Well, I don't think we can solve the problem. We do the things after the facts. So we recover the vehicles after they've been stolen. I think we're very willing to work in conjunction with the authorities, but fundamentally, that needs to come from government. Government, they've got the law enforcement. They need to weed out the criminals. And that will be good for the economy, it will be good for business, it will be good for us, even as a company. We don't rely on crime to grow our business. It really is, most of our customers are quite happy with the safety features that we give them. And if the economy increases, so will our business increase. At the moment, we've got 50% unemployment. I think if the crime is one of the biggest barriers for investment in the country. If they address crime, you'll have more investment, you'll have more job opportunities, and you'll have less people also willing to do crime. So I think it's a vicious cycle.
And of course, you know, most people, I remember one of your competitors and a friend of yours once said to me that he read an article and it said crime is good for his business because the more crime there is, the more money they make. That is not what you hear. You recover the assets of people, you use technology to recover assets, but you're certainly very anti-crime.
Most certainly. I mean, we rely on the economy. We rely on people being able to afford our services. Our service, it's a value proposition. 150 Rand today is really not a lot of money. And the safety that we can bring in with our new ambulance services, even for the consumer, there's so much more value that we can add. So crime is definitely a driver for our business. So we can't say that crime doesn't affect our business positively. It definitely has a positive element to our business, but we're not reliant on that to have a successful business. In actual fact, I'm a great believer. If there was no crime, we'd have more investment in the economy, and we'll have a bigger audience to provide our services. And we see in the consumer business, while still growing, a lot of the traction is now actually for our ambulance services because, you know, it's just a value for money proposition. And in terms of corporates and SMEs, huge demand for our platforms to improve their businesses. So we would like to see more investment in the country and less criminals.
That's what we love to hear. We'd all like to see that. Of course, Ramaphosa, Cyril Ramaphosa, President, is out trying to attract investment, had the investment conference last week, I think it was, and got some good figures there. But they all need to filter down to the man in the street. And the figures that you presented this morning, I just sat there mostly, I was most impressed. I mean, it's just, you make me think of that song, Up, Up and Away. I can't do it too well, but fly me to the moon, because that's where you're going all the time, man. Why don't you just give us some of those figures, the sort of improvements in profitability, subscribers, just throw some figures at us, how Cartrack has grown over the past year.
Look, our main metrics to measure our type of business is definitely the growth in subscribers. So we try for full demand. That's very important. And obviously the growth in subscription revenue. And both of those are over 25%. And obviously our profits in the bottom line are also at 24%. So I think all our key metrics is on the increase. And we see double-digit figures in the foreseeable future to continue to get double-digit figures.
I saw double-digit figures this morning. On everything, up that, all double digits.
Yes, but we believe that's sustainable going into the foreseeable future.
So you're looking at sustainable growth on a long-term basis?
Yes, management certainly believes in that.
Zach, I'm going to shout above this so you don't have to pass that mic back. Okay, I'll go down. Hey, there we come. Hey, we're in this together. Zach, the American market, one that fascinates me. ELDs are a big subject over there. You are in the American market. How's the American market look? You recently went into it.
So we went to America. We underestimated the way the American network operated, and we learned a few lessons there. And what we realized is that the technology they were using, some of it is quite old, and it was quite complex from state to state. What's the good thing about it is we've developed our American technology now. We've got it working, tested. We've got just under 2,000 subscribers. We did 2 million rand revenue, which is insignificant in the last 6 months. But let's call that our testing platform. And we're quite happy with the results. Our technology for America is in 2020, the current American technology becomes obsolete. So, it really gives us a huge opportunity into America. But now we've got to go do it. We're prudent. We haven't thrown a lot of money in America. We're normally going slow, and we get momentum over time as the business goes organic growth. And we believe America is an important market to be in. They've got great entrepreneurs. We've got amazing R&D and engineers. We've got some of them working for us from America. And we believe you've got to be in America if you want to play in a technology field. We still believe that. And yes, we did have a 2-year delay because we underestimated how the actual GSM networks work in America. But we're there now.
Fantastic. Right, so that's about it. All good news from Cartrack and from Zach, who's the most energetic man I know, all over the world, pushing the buttons everywhere you can go, looking for new opportunities, all to add value. And I really do mean that. And very interesting is that, Zach, a lot of people don't realize that we're world leaders in the telematics arena and the fleet management arena. A lot have followed. And, like the proprietary systems fitted to the trucks overseas, we were way ahead of them. You were going before they even were born. Scania, Fleetboard, Cartrack is out there. And of course, Cartrack is with MAN, South Africa. They are the fleet management partner of MAN, South Africa. So they know the trucking industry. They know what goes on the ground. And the good news is it just keeps growing and growing and growing, which makes the company stronger, its services stronger, and of course, South Africa safer and stronger and more cost efficient and more productive, which is what we all want. Zach, I just want to say a big thank you to you for once again giving us the time.
Coming to our offices. Thank you.
Pleasure. Go for it, my man. Up to 1 million.